Hi everybody. Okay, so I'm back with another K-drama to see. Have you already seen it? And if not, is it something that you would check out? So before we get into this video, you already know the drill. Like this video, follow me for more, and share this with someone that you know that would be into K-dramas and would potentially check it out. Okay, so let's get into it. The name of today's K-drama is called Appetit, Your Majesty. This K-drama follows the life of our main female lead, and her name is Yeonjeong, and she's actually practicing or in the works of trying to become a Michelin chef. And so she's actually in Paris. She just participated in a cook-off and she won. And as after she won, her dad had actually asked her to go and pick up like a very special book. It's a historical book from like one of his college colleagues, and so she stops by, picks up the book, and she's on the plane. The next instance, we see that the guy next to her had bumped into her. And so she went to go clean off in the bathroom, clean off her items and everything before she lands to make sure that the book, whatever liquid spilled, didn't seep onto the book entirely. Now, what ends up happening is she's analyzing this book in depth and she reads the words that are on the back of the book. And she somehow finds herself transported back in time to the Joseon dynasty when the tyrant king was running the country. And that king, his name was Lee Hun. Now, a quick history fact is that the tyrant in the K-drama is loosely based off of the tyrant from the Joseon era, the real one, Yeon Sang-un, and he is famous and notorious for two bloody purges that he had. He was also seizing hundreds of women from all over Korea to serve as like palace entertainers, so like for pleasure. He even took over like one of these educational plazas and made it his pleasure ground. So that's kind of like the background on him up until he was overthrown for his monarchy. And they would like to highlight that he did not follow in his father's footsteps of running the kingdom at the time, and he was so terrible to people that they really they essentially impeached him, if you catch my drift. He was actually so horrible a leader that he is one of the very few that does not have a temple named after him. So keep that in mind with why, the people of Korea just wasn't really rocking with him. He was a horrible person, per history, of course. So back to the story. Our main female lead finds herself transported back in time, and where she lands, she kind of lands in a net or a trap, and she was in the king's hunting ground. And lo and behold, the person that happened to find her and helped her down from the tree, not really helped, he was trying to kill her, was the actual king. And what ends up happening is she runs from him and she is cornered at the edge of a cliff, and he is essentially demanding, like, that she let him kill her, which is just absurd. But yeah, that's exactly what he was doing. Someone from afar had shot him with an arrow, meaning to, to kill him. And instead, he fell over onto her, and the two of them fell off the cliff. After they fell off the cliff, he's injured. She gets up. She's planning to just kind of like leave him there, but she's just like, you know what? I can't really leave you here. You're obviously injured. Like, let me see what I can do to stop the bleeding. So she takes like one of her scarves or whatever she has, and she wraps it around the wound tight to stop the bleeding as best as she can. And then when he comes to, he is back on defense mode, trying to kill her, saying, "Oh, you must have plotted this. This must be a coup. Like you must be trying to like take me out." And she's just like, "Dude, like I don't even know you. Why would I be trying to kill you? You tried to kill me, and I still saved your life." So ultimately, ends up with the two of them fighting with a knife, where she kind of overpowers him, because he is injured, and so she knocks him out, and then ends up tying him up, and then has him dragged behind her. She kind of like wakes him up after knocking him out, and kind of makes him follow after her. So they reach like one of the abandoned houses that's on the king's hunting ground, and they find a young woman is secretly living there, and she's not supposed to, because the king has already seized all of this property, so no one is supposed to be here. But this younger girl seems to have like so many things, like as far as stuff that she's harvested herself, weeds that she's dried herself, like nutritious stuff. She has barley to eat, and so our main female lead, who is ultimately a chef in the future, decides to whip up a meal, per the cuisine experience that she has, and she offers it to all of them, and she also adds gochujang. So essentially, she makes bibimbap for them, and it's something that, according to the K-drama, they had never had before, and the spice was something that they were not prepared for. And the king was also hesitant to try it, as they typically are, and so she had to taste the food before he tried it, and then ultimately he trusted her cooking. So later, while her and the girl are, walking by like some kind of like waterbed, they're looking for herbs, and it seems that the king's men have actually come and they found him, they've untied him, they gave him a change of clothes, and he told them that he has to find these two people that have run off from him. And so they capture them, and they're planning to, I guess, ship them off somewhere. Not really ship them off somewhere, but they're seized to be taken for something. So essentially what's happening is, if you're a woman and you're under the age of 18, they're going to send you into the palace. Remember I said that he was abducting women? The real king was abducting women. This is like one of those. But if you were older than that age, then you were kind of forced to do like labor around the palace. But all in all, women were being abducted. So, there's that. And so our main female lead, she ultimately is able to negotiate to an extent out of it, but then they kind of realize that the man that was there for the negotiation never had intentions on letting them leave. Even if they did win, he was still going to take the guy who owned that home's granddaughter as one of the court women, or I guess pleasure women, for the king. And so the king himself kind of shows up, and he pretty much tastes the food that the guy claimed wasn't good, and he found that the guy was lying. And so he then sets out to punish the girl, the one that had tied him up, our main female lead, to become the chief royal cook. Now, a lot of people in the palace were not happy about this, especially like the one of the consorts, Consort Kang, simply because she was really jealous along the lines, because she was really irritated by that. So anyway, while she's working in the royal palace, I would say her sentence is really that she can never prepare a meal for him that she has already prepared for him before. And if she were to prepare something and it was not to his liking nor to his taste buds' needs, she was going to be executed. That is the strictness that he imposed on her after he took her as prisoner and sentenced and confined her to the palace. So you really kind of have to just like watch this K-drama just to see how our main female lead is able to navigate through the palace, maybe, stay alive, and see if she ever makes it back to her time frame, or like what ends up happening. Because what she's kind of discovering is that he might just be the king that she was just bad mouthing when she first met. So you really just have to stay tuned to see how he treats her, how he tries to punish her and everything and then some, because she assumed that this man was off his rockers. So definitely let me know if this is a K drama that you've already seen before. Let me know in the comments how you felt about it. And if it's something that you've never seen, definitely let me know if this is something that you would check out. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Okay, thanks. Bye.